Okay. The Raptors take game 3. Yes, sir. Alright. I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I'm happy. Because as a Canadian, I cannot see the Raptors get swept. But this game was amazing. This game was all around. This is a true playoff game. This is what we were expecting from the Raptors when they were going against the Cavaliers. We expected defense. We expected offense. We expected that from RJ Barrett and IQ. Obviously, IQ's out and he's not going to be playing. He didn't play today. But RJ Barrett went nuts. He went stupid. Him and Scotty Barnes, both 33 points, with Jakob Poeltl, I believe, scoring 20, and CMB, the rookie, scoring 22. And also, what was it? Jameson Battle, he scored 14, 100% from the field. Nuts. But I digress. This game was a nail biter from the first quarter to the third quarter, and at the bit of the start of the fourth. The whole time it was neck and neck. It was a game where both teams were at each other's throat. They were scoring, great defense. Scotty Barnes looked like DPOY. He looked like he took that DPOY loss to his heart. You know what I mean? As he should. Evan Mobley looked like his former self, last year for a bit. But all in all, this team was amazing. I think on the Cavaliers, the top scorer had 17 points. I think that was Evan Mobley, or it was James Harden. But nonetheless, no, it wasn't James Harden, because I was going to talk about this. The past two games 1 and 2 for the Cavs, it really came down to James Harden doing his thing, and, well, not usually his thing with the playoffs. He's usually a playoff choker, but this year, James Harden has been going stupid in the playoffs. He's been tearing apart the Raptors defense, and he's just been finding his way through the lanes. He's been finding his three-point shot. Whatever it may be, he's done it. But today, the Raptors finally had an answer for him and held him to, I believe, to under 40% shooting from the field as a whole. That's crazy. James Harden is a good scorer. He's a good shot creator. He's a good playmaker, everything. But they just shut him down. And without him running the offense, they didn't know what to do. But I want to get back to CMB. Colin Murray-Boyles, the rookie. He was my rookie of the year. Not nearing the end, but at the start of the year, he looked like rookie of the year. He looked like he was going to beat out Cooper Flagg. He looked like he was going to beat out VJ Edgecombe, Con Knipple, whoever, you name it. He was my rookie of the year. Not only was his defense great, but his offense was amazing too. He looked like he knew what he was doing. And, the Raptors scouting team did an amazing job picking him. But I digress. The most shocking part was CMB and Jameson Battle combining for 36 points. And now, in the grand scheme of this whole game, over 200 something points scored as a whole, both teams, it's not crazy. But Jameson Battle was picking his shots perfectly, and he was 100% from the field tonight. Every single time he had the ball and he shot it, it went in. And CMB had, I believe, 75% from the field. And as a rookie to do that in the playoffs is nuts. We just saw VJ Edgecombe go crazy, against the Celtics. But we were also seeing in the play-in where Charlotte, Con Knipple didn't know how to shoot the ball. This guy was doing nothing. He was dropping donuts, breadsticks, whatever it may be. He wasn't doing his thing. But today, and I had thought that it was a rookie thing. I just had thought that was a rookie thing. I'd seen VJ Edgecombe, not at the time, it wasn't the time the Sixers played yet against the Celtics. But, I had thought in my head VJ would be better and whatnot, and he has been. You know what I mean? And we've seen throughout the Boston series so far, there's only been 2 games, but if I keep looking over here, I'm watching the Wolves and the Nuggets game, and Jaden McDaniels is giving them work. That boy's giving them work, and I'm going to be making a video right after it finishes. But I digress. This Raptors team, if they continue how they're going, I think they're going to win the series. If they show up like this again, they will win the series. Scotty Barnes looked like DPOY. Colin Murray, and he looked like a great offensive player. He looked like he finally understood what offense meant. The past couple of years, Scotty Barnes has been great defensively, but the one thing he's always lacked was that offensive oomph. You know what I mean? And you know, he would be able to get to the net. He'd be able to get through the lanes. He was a force to be reckoned with. But he didn't have that shot. He didn't have that 3-point shot. He didn't have, you know, the bag that, you know, like a DeMar DeRozan had, you know, when he was in Toronto. You know, one of the, in my opinion, might be a hot take, DeMar DeRozan was one of the greatest scorers of all time. And Scotty Barnes, if he can get that type of bag, what's stopping him from being MVP? You know what I mean? Like, it's craziness. But anyways, this was just an amazing game. And I can't forget about RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett, 33 points. He showed up. Throughout the year, there's been a lot of talk, obviously, about RJ Barrett. Should he be on the team? Should he even have minutes? You know, him and Emmanuel Quickley haven't always been there for the Raptors. He's been injured a lot of times. But today, it was worth it. It was so worth it. He was a key component that won us this game. Him and Scotty Barnes both. And I just have to give my flowers to them. Because without them, this game would have been nothing. This game would have been doo-doo garbage. I can't lie. This game would have been buns. Because not only were they not scoring a bunch and whatnot without them, like if you took away all the points that Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett made, this would probably be one of the lowest scoring games ever. But yeah, another thing I want to talk about is Jacoby Walter. You know, if you look at the box score, he has 0 points. He dropped a donut. You know what I mean? Like, more donuts than Homer Simpson. He's dropped more donuts than Homer Simpson this year. But that's the thing about him. He's allowed to get away with it, right? In a sense. A lot of times, you don't want your players dropping donuts. You don't want them giving you 0 points. You want them doing something on the court. You want them maybe getting 1 or 2 or 10 at least. But this was a game where his impact wasn't on the box score. His impact was on the result. He was also a key component. He played almost 30 minutes this game. And, you know, there's a reason why Darko kept him out there, even though he wasn't scoring. He had a 0% field goal percentage. Like, it's nuts. But it's because of his defense. He made the right switches. He locked down everybody he was on. You know, whether that would be James Harden or whether that be Donovan Mitchell, no matter who it was, he was on them. You know, he was in there like swimwear. Like, he was in there. And I have to give my flowers to the whole Raptors team. You know, with them being able to be resilient when it came to, you know, losing the first 2 games. Like, that's horrible. And in the fashion that they lost them both, and it was BTA. It was BTA both times. Maybe game 2 was a bit less, but the first game was BTA. Like, it wasn't a game where you could be proud of. And they really showed their immaturity when it came to playoff games, and they showed a lot of their youngness. One thing that they are still missing is Brandon Ingram. I hope that Brandon Ingram next game can pick up the slack. You know, this game he got 12 points, and it seems like he's really only been getting 12 points. You know what I mean? If you look back at a lot of the box scores, it's just 12. And, you know, he has a bit of an impact when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, but he doesn't have that impact that can warrant him to have been brought in for his offense and not deliver that offense. It's kind of mind-blowing to me in a sense. But if it produces something like this, then I don't even mind. You know, as a Raptors fan, as you know, my Knicks lost today, and I don't even want to talk about that, but I have to. You know, this Raptors team, it was amazing today, and I can go on and on about them like for ages, but I have to get on with this and whatnot. But yeah, flowers to them, yeah. But like I said, the Knicks. Today, the Knicks got beat. Atlanta took Game 3 of the Atlanta Hawks Knicks series. I was expecting this after they had taken Game 2 in MSG, which was crazy to me, really. I thought that the Knicks were in trouble. You know, going into Atlanta, that's obviously their home court. It is something where, you know, they thrive in their home environment. Atlanta is one of those teams that, you know, they want to hear their fans cheering for them. They love Magic City. You know what I mean? Magic City is their headquarters. You know? But basically, though, the Atlanta Hawks, they they did their thing today. Like CJ McCollum did his thing, Nickeil Alexander-Walker did his thing. The whole team did their thing. Like I can't pick out one bad player really because they at least had impact, whether that be offensively, whether that be defensively. Mo Gay, he didn't. I can't remember him playing much. Maybe it's because I was super tired when I was watching it, but nonetheless though, I like the times I did see him play, he was good defensively. He actually was really, really good. Not gonna say really, really good, but I'm gonna say he was good. But yeah, like this Atlanta Hawks team, I hate to say it, but they could win this series. We may be looking at a team that could make it to the conference finals. Like, and that may sound crazy, but the Atlanta Hawks, CJ McCollum's playing like he's in his prime. Like he's giving them BTA. Like they don't have a single they don't have an answer for him. The New York Knicks don't have an answer for CJ McCollum, which is nuts for me to say because I remember I had made a video. I can't even remember if I uploaded it or not, but I had made a video about the Trae Young trade. CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert for Trae Young. I literally said that was potato chips for an iPad. That was nuts because obviously Trae Young, creates great offensive spacing. He makes the offense what it truly is, and CJ McCollum, he does his thing, and he's old. You know what I mean? Like he's old. We don't expect much from him and whatnot. But that's the problem. We don't expect much, and he goes crazy. The teams out there, they don't expect much from him, but he's gonna deliver something crazy. And I have to give my flowers to them. There's been so many great plays these past couple games. I didn't make a video on the game twos. A lot of life things happening, but I'm making sure I make the videos on the game threes. I'm going to go more deep into this Atlanta Hawks series. I haven't been able to do my full research yet, but I'm going to go deeper into it after the Nuggets game wraps up, which is in like 15 or so minutes. But I digress. This Raptors game was amazing, and the Atlanta Hawks game was great too. I'll still talk more about it. Jalen Brunson, he was good, but he wasn't as good as he needed to be, if you catch my drift. Mikal Bridges didn't really do his thing much. Defensively, he wasn't there. OG Anunoby, he was there defensively in a sense. But I will say that this isn't the defense we expect from them. Bringing in Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, the Knicks wanted great defense. Last year, we prided ourselves crazily on our defense. This year, Mike Brown isn't known as a great defensive coach. He has coached good defensive teams, but he is more of an offensive coach. Not an offensively. He more is an offensively minded coach than a defensively minded one. And, going into this year when they had hired him, I was very skeptical about what is he going to do for our team? Is he going to reshape his whole identity? And we have got a... Excuse me, sir. Okay. My setup just crashed. So, coming back to it, I can't even remember where I was. I believe we were talking about the Knicks and Atlanta Hawks. Anyways, looking back at it, I believe I said that Mikal Bridges was good. Does he know? No, I didn't know. I can't lie. I didn't even look at the scorecard. That's on me. But, bro, Mikal Bridges was buns. 0 points. Donuts. Jacoby Walter moment. But for him, he didn't have as much impact as Jacoby Walter did. Jonathan Kuminga went crazy this game. No one could stop him. I mean nobody could stop him. OG couldn't stop him. Cat couldn't stop him. Don't even get me started on what Cat did this game, because that is one thing I remembered. I was going to talk about it. Oh my days. Anyways, Jalen Brunson was good. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was mid. Once again, he was Brandon Ingram moment. This was the equivalent of the Raptors and Cavs game, but the Raptors were just better. If you catch my drift, this game all around was actually pretty close, but the Atlanta Hawks were just better. They just had more going for them, and they didn't stop. The Knicks were good, and they were having some stuff going for them. Miles McBride was, doing great from deep. He had 15 points off the bench. OG was great all around. Like, he was great defensively. Looking at some highlights, he was great offensively. Cat didn't really do his thing. I know he still had some points and whatnot, but I have to say this, that Cat, he was disappointing this game. But not as disappointing as Mikal Bridges. As I said, 0 points, whatever. I won't dog on him too much. But all around, it was Jalen Johnson, Jonathan Kuminga, and CJ McCollum doing their thing. And Nikhil Alexander-Walker, 15 points, whatever. Count him if you want. But all in all, this was, looking over everything, this was a good game. I only remember watching the fourth quarter, and the Knicks went fucking nuts. They went crazy. I believe it was like 38-21 in the third quarter. I mean, the fourth quarter, but they still couldn't edge it out. Why? It's because the Atlanta Hawks were just better. When the game mattered, the Atlanta Hawks were there. But when the Knicks needed it most, they couldn't show up for it. I can only hope that they do better in Game 4. Atlanta leads the series 2-1 now. Raptors and the Cavs, 2-1 Cavs. All around, these were some good games so far today. I'll make another video going more in depth into this Atlanta game, but I'm also going to go in depth with this Nuggets and Wolves game, and I'm excited because, like I said, I believe I said it during the video, Jaden McDaniels is giving them belt, like block after block after basket after basket. Oh my gosh, he is giving them, and Bones Highland just went crazy. Anyways, this is going to be a good game. I can't wait to make a video. Thank you.